Check. Okay. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you a gentle 5-minute warning. 5 minutes. Let's get your seats and get ready. We have a very packed, very tight schedule. I'll give you a gentle cover as many issues as possible. Let's for the city to seat and get ready. We have a very packed, very tight schedule. Hopefully we can cover as many issues as possible for the citizens. Okay, so get ready and we'll start in a few minutes.
Hello, testing. OK， 唔該晒。
係咩？聽到啊？咁聽啊？哦 ，hello， 拜拜。
On behalf of the Calgary Chinese Elderly Citizens Association, the Chinatown BIA, the Calgary Chinatown Community Association, and the ACCT Foundation, I welcome you all to the 2025 Ward 7 Councillor Election Forum. I'm Kenneth. This forum is an important opportunity for our community to come together, ask questions, and make informed choices. We are grateful to have Fairchild Radio to provide media support today, including live streaming of today's event. Our moderator today is Mr. Brian Wong, the Senior News Editor at Fairchild Radio. Before I hand over the mic to Brian, I'll also do the introduction in Cantonese and a little bit in Mandarin. 我謹代表卡城華人耆英會、華埠商業促進會、卡城華埠街坊會同埋加拿大華人行動基金會，歡迎大家出席今日嘅2025年嘅第7區市議員嘅選舉論壇。多謝大家。咁呢個論壇咧係我哋嘅社區參與啦，同埋我哋提出各種嘅問題，同埋咧我哋之後會作出一個明智選擇嘅一個好好嘅機會。呢個當然都係我哋民主嘅一個根本。咁我哋今日都非常之多謝我哋嘅加拿大中文電台提供媒體支持，包括咧今日咧有一個現場嘅直播咧係進行中嘅。咁呢個論壇今日嘅主持人咧就係我哋加拿大中文電台嘅資深新聞編輯黃慧聰先生嘅。咁咧好歡迎大家嚟到啦，咁我哋咧一齊去關心我哋社區嘅未來。在这里我简单用普通话说一下，就是今天有没有些朋友你是说普通话或者国语，但是你需要翻译的？如果你有这样的需求，可以稍微举一下手。那我们有同事 Ernest， 不知现在他可能去复印东西，但等一下他下来的话，那你可能会坐在一起，他可以在你旁边做一些基本的一些翻译。好的，谢谢。So I'll hand over the mic to Brian.
Thank you so much. First of all, welcome on a Saturday afternoon. I know it's very nice before the cold snap is coming. It looks like so. Spend some time, quality time, and I appreciate that you chose to come here to this forum because it is very important that we share information, and at the end you become informed citizens, so that you make the right choice according to your preference, according to your knowledge that we will gather today. 多謝大家今日嚟到選擇星期六一個下晝陽光普照風和日麗，可能晏少少或者週末開始凍，但係大家都選擇嚟呢一度成為一個參加者、支持者同埋一個公民嘅責任，因為你哋認識嘅社區，知道之後，對於將來你哋可以投票有更加深嘅了解，從而咧作出一個自己認為最合適嘅一票。呢、個就係民主社會賦予俾我哋其中一個嘅責任同埋咧我哋有個義務嚟㗎。I'm not going to say anything in Mandarin because we're going to keep it short. And who needs a Mandarin? Go with both English and Chinese, Cantonese Chinese. In case there is a discrepancy or any discrepancies, we reference the English side, okay? But we have a very strong support. My team on the left is Kenneth and Jenny. They will perform live Cantonese, sort of like a summary bullet point overview, translation, not word for word. So if you need help, if you need more, you can go back to check the video on Fairchild Radio YouTube channel because we are actually live streaming the event right now. So we'll do a quick acknowledgement that we respect the land, truth and reconciliation. We honor and acknowledge Wisconsin and the traditional Treaty 7 territory and oral practices of the Blackfoot Confederacy, including Siksika, Kainai, Piikani, Ihava, Lakota Nations, Chiniki, Bearspaw, Goodstoney, and Tsuut'ina Nation. We acknowledge that this territory is home to the Métis Nation within Alberta Districts 5 and 6. Finally, we acknowledge all nations, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, who live, work, and play on this land, including Chinatown and downtown, who honor and celebrate this territory.
剛才班人都用中文做咗呢個土地確認嘅，咁我哋喺呢度咧就唔再重複啦。
Next one, we are going into the introduction. Each candidate will have 30 seconds to introduce himself, and we will also do a quick Chinese translation as well. So without further ado, what I have is, according to the alphabetical order of the last names, Greg Amaruso, who is not here yet, and we will jump to the next candidate, Mike Atkinson. 我哋而家首先係我哋做少少翻譯先。
咁而家我哋邀請每一位候選人咧作一個簡短嘅自我介紹，咁每位候選人係會30秒嘅時間可以介紹自己嘅。咁第一位候選人Greg 就未到，咁所以我哋由另外一位候選人 Mike Atkinson 開始先。
Mike, take it away.
Hi all. My name is Mike Atkinson, and I'm running as an independent candidate in Ward 7. I've lived in the ward for over 20 years, worked over at the university, and most recently over at the Central Public Library. I believe that Chinatown is a very, very important part of our Ward 7 neighborhoods. Getting it right is good for the economic vitality of downtown, it's good for the people that live here, and we have so much to actually learn about how we do things in Chinatown.
So, by the way, my fault. I should have said that even I said 30 seconds, and there's a timer on the left. And we have Johnny, who is the timekeeper, doing that, and Kyle, who is the sound man. If you go over, we'll just cut the mic. Next one, thank you so much, Mike. Next one, we have David Barrett. Oh, sorry, my apology again. This is very hybrid this time. We're going to do the Cantonese quick summary. Thank you.
咁候選人 Mike Atkinson 咧，佢就話其實佢已經喺 Ward 7有住咗好耐啦，咁有20年㗎啦，咁所以咧佢好了解Chinatown 我哋呢個華埠咧係好重要嘅喺呢一個第7選區嗰度，咁而佢咧亦都會係好着重呢個經濟發展，我哋華埠嘅經濟發展嘅。
All right, thank you, Jenny. Next we have David.
Hello, thanks for having me. My name is David Barrett, and I'm running to be your independent Ward 7 City Councillor. I'm a sessional faculty member at the University of Calgary who researches water, climate change, and urban growth. I'm running on a bold vision and a concrete set of policies that will make Ward 7, including Chinatown, more vibrant, sustainable, and affordable.
Thank you, David. Translation.
係我個名咧就叫 David Barrett 嘅，咁我係喺呢個卡利嘅大學嘅一個教授啦。咁我咧就好支持 Chinatown 嘅我哋華埠或者唐人街嘅工作嘅，包括令到點樣令到佢更加再活躍啦，令到佢可以可持續咁發展啦，同埋令到喺我哋嘅社區嘅嘢係可以被affordable 即係呢個可負擔嘅價錢。
Thank you, David. Next on deck is Heather McCrae. And timer is ready. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
My name is Heather McCrae. I've worked in a leadership capacity downtown, collaborating with businesses, community, and fellow business improvement areas to address the many issues impacting our city. Center Street is my gateway to downtown. I believe that the City of Calgary can be a better partner to Chinatown through infrastructure repair and maintenance to ensure that this vital and culturally significant community can thrive into the future. Thank you.
呢位候選人佢就話佢自我介紹係佢係 Heather McCrae 啦，咁佢就已經咧有好多年來豐富嘅經驗係同 而佢咧亦都知道咧佢知道唐人街係需要繼續持續發展啦，係好重要嘅一件事。咁而佢亦都會咧將呢啲聲音帶去市政府 City of Calgary 嗰度嘅。
Okay, thank you. Next up is Terry Wong. Terry, in 3, 2, 1.
你好，大家好。Hello everyone. I'm Terry Wong, Ward 7 City Councilor today. Hope to be a City Councilor going after that. As many of you know, obviously myself being Chinese, I have an affinity with the Chinatown and Chinese culture. I've been part of the Chinatown for the last 15 years, both as the Executive Director of the Chinatown Business Improvement Area, but also as Councilor representing each and every one of you, my friends. Being the case, we've done a lot for you in the last 4 years. There's a lot more ahead of us. I want to be there to support you.
係我叫 Terry Wong 嘅，咁咧我就係現任嘅市議員啦。咁我亦都好希望能夠再次成為你嘅市議員嘅。咁我一路喺華埠喺唐人街都工作咗好耐啦，有可能超過15年啦。咁我以前亦都喺呢個華埠嘅商業促進會裏面工作，亦都一路咧去維護華埠嘅一啲安全啊各方面嘅。咁亦都希望繼續去為大家去服務。
Thank you, everyone. Before we move on to the question and answer period, we will do some quick housekeeping items and the ground rules. It's very important that we know where to go in terms of restrooms. I think there is a pair over there. They are, unisex, so anyone can go. Also downstairs, available. Fantastic. We also have the muster point just in case anything happens. That's the piazza outside. Okay. Also, the nature of this space is a family space. We have a lot of seniors going in and out. So your language, everything else, your action must be very respectful for this space as well. And we do have some policy in case something goes wrong. Cell phone usage, and I think we welcome everyone to take pictures, but turn it on, but on a silent mode. Okay, take pictures is okay. Video, you can go back to Fairchild Radio and watch the YouTube. Don't come over and get too close to the stage because we need to maintain vantage point and sight line for everyone. Make sense?
咁主要就係想同大家釐清一啲行政事務嘅。咁譬如洗手間咧，咁我哋呢個禮堂隔離會有啦，亦都可以善用樓下嘅洗手間。另外，如果有任何緊急嘅事情發生咧，咁集合地點大家知道就喺出邊啦。咁另外就係因為呢個場地咧有好多長者喺度，咁希望大家係有一個尊重、互相尊重嘅環境啦，注意你哋嘅言行同埋行為啦。另外我哋希望你如果有手提電話、手機嘅，咁麻煩去轉去呢個靜音模式，咁就唔好騷擾到呢個電能進行啦。同埋如果大家需要影相，甚至係錄影嘅話咧，係可以嘅。
Okay, well, this is a safe space, and we value our democracy and treat every candidate, volunteer, and all the audience member with courtesy. Even people who are online, and we actually don't want that to have dissent by words or locally dissent by actions. And in case I do think we have Kenneth, we do have first aiders in this house, right? So in case of emergency, don't panic and just stay calm accordingly. And let the first aiders deal with that, okay? So I'm Brian Wong, and I have responsibilities as well. I will keep this as neutral demeanor at all times, and I will refrain expressing my personal opinions on any answers and whatnot, and stay on schedule. Hopefully the timekeeper also is your best ally. I also have my sound guy and my translator. They are my best friends. And you are as well, of course. First one, we will do this in English, also a quick translation. The compulsory question format. For every question, each candidate has 30 seconds to answer. Other candidates can rebut, and with a time limit of 15 seconds per person. The speaking candidate finally has 30 seconds overall to respond to all the rebuttals. Does it make sense? Okay.
主要想通知翻大家咧，呢個咧其實係一個好安全嘅場地啦。咁我哋係會有急救人員，如果 有任何緊急事故出現嘅話咧，咁我哋係會可以立即處理嘅。另外我哋嘅主持人 Brian 啦，佢會係保持中立嘅。咁另外就係話，我哋今次個形式咧，就係每一個候選人咧係需要答一啲必須回答嘅問題。咁每一位候選人係會有30秒嘅時間去作答啦。而另外其他候選人就會15秒去回應呢位答問人嘅。咁然後最後咧，嗰位候選人亦都有返30秒嘅時間去回應。
So we have 4 compulsory questions, also 4 opportunities that we take questions from the floor. So altogether, it's going to be, including the translation, it's going to be, we need to move very fast, so I will just shut up now.
我哋一共咧有4條嘅必答嘅問題嘅，同時都有4條問題咧係我哋會從即係台下嘅朋友嘅問題裏面抽出嚟嘅。咁咧就時間非常之緊迫嘅，咁我哋馬上會開始。
The first compulsory question, number 1, tomorrow's Chinatown. So I'll give you a brief backstory on that. The tomorrow's Chinatown area redevelopment plan and the cultural plan has been approved, but lacks funding for implementation. Community organizations estimate $750,000 in capacity building investment funding that is required for them to participate in meaningful conversations. Seniors and residents continue to cite pedestrian hazards, limited parking, transit inaccessibility. This is all about just not Calgary Chinatown, but all the Chinatowns in Canada facing similar situations. Housing problem, economic vibrancy, development, tourism, support for seniors and vulnerable sectors, security, safety, heritage preservation, whatnot. Just give you a sense of what's going on in other jurisdictions. In Edmonton has provided $4.5 million to support Chinatown between 2018 and 2025. City of Vancouver provides $3.5 million, also supporting Vancouver Chinatown with various funds, grants, and other opportunities. Now going back to the Calgary Chinatown Cultural Plan, which was approved 3 years ago, the City of Calgary have not committed any budget to implement that plan. There's over 130 pages document, which is all open, everyone can access that. What is your commitment to implement this Calgary Chinatown plan or the tomorrow's Chinatown implementation and the process? Not only the what, but the how, including $750,000 capacity building funding identified by the community.
好，第一條問題係明日唐人街嘅地區重建計劃同埋文化計劃咧已經獲得批准，但係缺乏實質嘅實施嘅資金。社區組織估計需要75萬元咧先至能夠建設嘅基金咧先至能夠去有效去參與嘅。咁老人家啦同埋居民咧繼續咧提到好多行人嘅危險啊、停車位有限啊同埋交通不便嘅問題。咁你係咪會承諾喺下個4年嘅預算週期，即係2026到2029嘅週期中，為明日唐人街制定具體嘅實施計劃同埋撥款嘅項目預算呢？咁作為參考咧，其實根據AC Foundation 嘅一啲研究啦，咁 Edmonton 喺2018至2025年咧期間已經撥款450萬元支持唐人街嘅社區，另外咧仲有撥款1000萬元咧用於基礎嘅建設項目。溫哥華市咧喺2023年到2025年期間為唐人街社區提供咗350萬元，咁咧就係亦都係振興溫哥華唐人街嘅早期嘅階段咧投入咗數百萬元嘅。咁再嚟到個問題就係你係咪會支持呢一個75萬元嘅能力建設嘅撥款計劃啦，以加強唐人街組織實施同埋監督呢個計劃嘅能力？如果支持，你有咩計劃嚟到追蹤資金同埋實施嘅情況？點樣讓到關鍵嘅利益相關者參與討論，以及如何去參與下一輪嘅預算
Who wants to take the first crack? We have 2 mics. Okay. Heather? So I'll just let you know that Johnny is ready in 3, 2, 1.
Okay. So in addition to tomorrow's Chinatown, I would also like to raise the fact that Chinatown is part of the greater downtown strategy. And we have seen significant investments in other parts of downtown. We have not seen a corresponding investment in Chinatown. And I think we have to ask ourselves why. I think there has been a lack of advocacy around the council table for Chinatown, and I am here to change that. We had $800,000 spent on the 5th Street underpass.
係 係咁，我咧就想將呢個唐人街嘅問題擺喺一個大啲嘅範圍裏面。其實我哋都有一個卡加利嘅市中心嘅一個大啲嘅策略計劃嘅。咁我睇到喺個好多年裏面咧，其實都有其他嘅資金去投入到去我哋市中心即係 downtown 嘅其他嘅地方，但係投入喺唐人街就相對少啦。所以我喺呢度我哋都會問呢個問題點解會係咁啦？咁可能係缺乏一啲嘅倡導或者係一個政府嘅一個解決呢啲問題嘅意志啦。咁我係喺呢度去支持大家去需要有更多嘅資金去投入去唐人街工作中。
Okay, thank you. Who's next? Mike, in 3, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, investment in Chinatown is important, but how we do it really matters. There's a lot of not-for-profit societies in Chinatown that are already doing incredible work. We need to leverage the volunteer power that you are bringing into community. These are the people that are tapped into what needs to happen on the ground, and it is a way to stretch the dollars from the city in big ways by applying it through these various societies that are doing the work on the ground today. Give them the funds and let them go and do what they need to do.
Thank you. That's perfect.
係咁，除咗即係我哋需要去投資去投入去唐人街嘅工作，其實另外一個好緊要嘅就係我哋點樣去做啦。咁係其實我哋喺唐人街有好多嘅非盈利嘅非政府嘅機構，一啲社會嘅團體，其實我哋係可以利用到佢哋嘅力量，利用佢哋嘅志願嘅精神。義工嘅力量去一齊去建設我哋嘅唐人街。
Rock, paper, scissors. Okay, David, you're ready. Okay, we'll get a timer ready as well. Johnny, 3, 2, 1.
I am committed to working with the Chinatown BIA, local residents, and community organizations to invest the much-needed dollars in Chinatown, using the Chinatown Cultural Plan as guidance. I'm committed to investing in fixing and improving infrastructure in the neighborhood, and in a way that is culturally sensitive. It's not only the right thing to do, to the broader city and downtown. We also need to invest in the people here, the people that are doing incredible work already. We need to help support those organizations.
Thank you.
係咁，我哋咧點樣去運用？如果有資金嘅話，我哋當然係需要同我哋嘅商業促進會 PIA 去合作啦。我哋地區嘅組織嘅居民啦，同埋啲社區嘅組織，咁我哋要一齊合作去執行我哋嘅呢個關於明日唐人街嘅文化嘅計劃。咁喺呢個過程中，我哋當然要有一啲對文化嘅敏感性啦，去一齊去合作去進行呢啲計劃嘅，同埋我哋都要係去投資喺我哋嘅人身上面。
Okay, so we have the rebuttal time as well before that, and Terry would have 30 seconds to mention that, and after that we have the rebuttal. And Johnny is ready, we have 30 seconds for Terry. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. When Council approved the cultural plan 3 years ago, Mayor Gondek and I put $20 million into approving LAPs. That $20 million is available to Chinatown. Secondly, we've also invested into Center Street improvement from 2nd Avenue to 4th Avenue. You see the streets being done right now. Thirdly, last year in Council, I added $2 million to downtown Chinatown for $1 million for the Clean Safe, $1 million for festivals and events. That money is available for right now. You just have to ask.
係，其實喺我哋制定咗呢一個唐人街嘅文化計劃嘅時候，其實我哋係投入咗好多嘅資源去執行佢嘅，包括有2000萬嘅資金啦，係喺市中心同埋唐人街裏面嘅去作出投資嘅，亦都有好多一啲街道嘅改善啦。另外亦都有啲安全方面嘅一啲嘅投資嘅。咁其實係有一啲嘅投資係投咗去相關嘅計劃裏面。
So we go back to the order. Heather takes the first crack, and the rebuttal. The other 3 candidates can ask questions. Each has 15 seconds. Anyone? David? Heather, you answer after they ask you extra questions. Who wants to start? David? No? Okay. Anyone has any? Jerry? 15 seconds. Okay. Johnny? 15.
So my question, Heather, is just simply when you talk about downtown strategy, when you work with the Calgary Downtown Association, when did you ever actually reach out to the Chinatown BIA? When did you actually work with them to make a difference?
Well, quite frankly, Terry, I advocated a lot for that relationship, especially
My apology. It should also go to all the candidates first before Heather with you. Mike, do you have anything to add? On Heather's response?
I'll just say that Heather is right that we need to think about Chinatown as a part of the greater downtown and how do we build the connections.
Okay, and David will pass. Heather, you have 30 seconds to respond to both.
I would like to remind Terry that I was not the executive director. I was the director of strategic communications, and I did advocate for investment when the CDA received $1 million from the province of Alberta. I thought that some of that money should have been spent on clean and safe in Chinatown. That was outside of my decision-making power.
Thank you. Translation.
剛才 Terry 要問呢個問題就係問 Heather 佢其實你有冇實際上去聯絡過我哋嘅商業促進會或者同其他嘅機構去聯絡，去講你話你會執行去幫助唐人街嘅啲工作，咁你到底有冇實際做過咁樣？咁 Heather 頭先回應就係話佢都有喺一個策略嘅層次度，同埋一啲嘅計劃裏面咧係有建議投入呢個資金去幫忙一個唐人街嘅工作。
Okay, on Mike, the response, the other three candidates, you have any rebuttal? Any questions to Charlton? Terry, go ahead.
Thank you, Mike. I've heard you say many times before about the power of volunteers and the power of working with people. But at the end of the day, what I haven't heard is how you actually put money in the hands of volunteer organizations so that they have the capacity to do what they need to do.
Thank you. David, go ahead. 15, 3, 2, 1.
Awesome. I agree. I think we need to talk about investing in the people, not relying on volunteers to deliver core services that the city should be supporting. And there is a distinction between the downtown and Chinatown. Chinatown is definitely unique from downtown.
Thank you. Heather, you have anything? Okay. 30 seconds for Mike to respond. Go ahead.
I've been a part of volunteer organizations for many, many years. Volunteer organizations in this city do incredible work. You know it. We're experiencing it right now. I'm pretty sure the timekeeper isn't being paid. I'm pretty sure none of the folks here are being paid today. Volunteers do incredible work. We just need to empower them. And how we empower them is we get behind them. We have granting ways of doing that. We can provide direct funding that gets done on an ongoing basis. We have models for it. Calgary Arts Development has ongoing funding that is provided to base to organizations, and we have grants on top of that.
Time's up. Translation.
係頭先Terry 都係問 Mike 呢個問題就係話其實你有冇實際去做一啲嘅工作去我頭先佢提到我哋要去投資喺人嘅身上啊，我哋要支持一啲非盈利嘅機構去工作，咁你有冇實際做過呢啲工作咧咁樣嘅？咁David 都係話我哋除咗係頭先佢就提到，除咗我哋要幫一啲透過一啲義務嘅工作去幫助唐人街嘅計劃啦，咁另外都好需要係實際上投資喺啲機構或者人身上嘅一啲嘅資源。咁Mike 嘅回應就主要話，其實我哋好多年已經一路喺一啲嘅志願嘅機構去做工作，去參與環境應用嘅議題嘅改善，咁亦都去支持一啲嘅相關嘅資源嘅投入咁樣。
Okay, on Terry's, the other three candidates, any question on Terry's response on tomorrow's Chinatown? Heather, 15 seconds. Take it away.
Terry, you were gaslighting the audience by telling them that they just need to ask for money that you've made available. If you're in a leadership role, I don't think that you should be making the community beg.
David and Mike. David first. Go ahead.
It's a, you can talk a big game, Terry, but when we look outside, we're only, after 4 years, barely seeing action in Chinatown. We have not seen the commitment that you as a councillor should have been bringing to this area and the respect to this area.
And Mike?
I just think we have this Chinatown plan. We've put a lot of work and effort into it. The community has come together. We've had time now since that plan has been made available. Where are the actionable results of that plan starting to come together?
Keep going, and Terry, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't expect you to beg. I expect you to understand that we have dollars available to you. We've given you dollars for street festival, we've given you dollars for night market, we've given you dollars for different sort of festival events. You're asking for $750,000, come to us. We'll put that in your budget, but we'll put it in your hands. You don't have to ask me. Whether it's UCCA or Chinatown Development Foundation we'll put it in their hands. They can give the money to you.
係頭先幾位嘅回應者其實主要都係講到雖然你頭先提到話其實政府已經擺咗好多錢落去我哋唐人街嘅工作裏面啦，實際上到底我哋見到啲乜嘢咧？如果你係喺嗰個領導嘅位置度，其實你唔應該讓我哋今日喺呢個論壇度仲要問呢一個咁樣嘅問題嘅。咁但 Terry 嘅回應主要都係提到其實實際上都有好多嘅資金，譬如我哋去進行我哋嘅唐人街嘅一啲street festival， 即係我哋一啲嘅節慶嘅活動啊，一啲商業嘅支持啊，一啲類似一啲
Okay, mandatory compulsory question number 2. Let's move on. Public safety. Well, we have packed everything into 2 hours. So yeah, I understand that, but this is the rule that we set out. Thank you for your recommendation. Maybe next time. Yeah, I think they all agree to that rule as well. Okay, public safety. Everything is important. Like in the last Bureau candidate forum that I host, we list 15 major items. We shrink it down to 4. Public safety. One of the most important indexes in Canada that we use is CSI, Crime Severity Index. Fell by 14.9% from 2023-2024. But having said that, Chinatown still experiences persistent issues, such as graffiti, vandalism, break-and-enters, distraction theft, and even streetcar racing during quiet hours. Chinatown residents observe time after time that police presence has been very limited. Homelessness issue and safe consumption sites continues to cloud Chinatown and downtown area. Many residents, especially seniors, remain hesitant to report crimes due to mistrust or language barriers. Chinatown has been repeatedly impacted by graffiti and vandalism, yet the current bylaw makes property owners solely responsible for cleanup. And even when the same law is hit multiple times, there's a clear disconnect between Chinatown residents, Chinatown stakeholders, Calgary Police, and the City of Calgary. What concrete steps will you take to rebuild trust, improve communication, and ensure policing is culturally responsive, timely, and community-based? As a councillor in the future, what changes will you advocate for Chinatown to make city programs more supportive instead of punitive?
雖然咧，卡加利嘅犯罪嚴重程度嘅指數咧已經係由2023年至24年嘅時候下降咗14.9%，但係咧唐人街咧依然係有好多問題，例如塗鴉啦、入屋盜竊啦，甚至係有啲街頭飆車嘅情況。咁唐人街嘅市民咧一次又一次發現咧，警察嘅出勤率係比較有限嘅，咁所以亦都有好多大家見到嘅無家可歸者嘅問題，同埋關於安全消費場所嘅問題，依然係圍繞呢個唐人街市中心嘅。咁好多居民啦，尤其是係一啲長者啦，由於佢可能遇咗障礙或者基於呢個不信任啦，咁仍然咧係唔係好夠膽或者願意去舉報呢啲犯罪行為。咁唐人街經常受到呢啲咁樣嘅破壞行為影響。咁而家現行法例咧就規定業主咧係需要自己自行負責嘅。咁所以即使有啲情況係同一面牆都會多次被破壞。咁所以唐人街嘅居民啦、卡加利警方同埋卡加利市政府之間咧，咁明顯咧係個溝通係脫咗節嘅。咁所以就係希望問幾位候選人，你將來會採取呢啲具體嘅措施嚟重建啲信任、改善溝通，而且確保咧警察方面咧個警務工作咧可以適當地回應到我哋唐人街嘅文化，及時處理我哋社區嘅基礎呢啲等等嘅問題。咁佢哋將會提議呢啲嘅改革方案啦，令到市政府咧喺各項嘅計劃入邊咧係更具支持性而非懲罰性嘅。
Okay. David, thank you. 30 seconds.
That's a lot for 30 seconds. So I commit to piloting a Chinatown safety hub where residents and businesses can report crimes and access services in Cantonese and Mandarin, while increasing the presence of community outreach teams such as the Alpha House and Help Team to provide additional supports. We also need to begin implementing more frequent street cleaning and graffiti removal, similar to what we do elsewhere in the downtown. The Business Association needs the support, the Business Improvement Area needs the support to execute on that, and it's absolutely critical.
Thank you. Next, Terry, you ready? You're holding the mic. Terry, 3, 2, 1, go ahead.
Yeah, 4 things. Number one.
Hold on, I'm sorry, Terry. Translation first. My apology.
其實咁已經咧為唐人街咧亦都係做咗好多增加安全嘅措施啦，例如有安全屋等等咁樣嘅，咁亦都會提倡咧同呢個唐人街嘅商會一齊咧合作咧去改善呢個安全問題。
Okay, 30 seconds for Terry. Go ahead.
Yeah, once again, 4 things. Number 1, more police officers. Number 2, a downtown Calgary police station, District 1. Number 3, dignity stops, meaning that for the vulnerable population that are out there that need to go to the bathroom, we will create places for them with attendants. And number 4, power washing every morning, 7 o'clock, and at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, we do a cleanup. So that when you come to work every morning, it'll be clean.
Thank you, Terry. Translation.
咁主要係Terry 有4點咧，第一點係多啲警察啦，第二咧就係話仲有佢會保持清潔，會係幫手洗走啲塗鴉啦。第二第三點洗公共洗手間。
Public washing, 3rd point. The 4th point is power washing everyone. I think everyone get that. Next, we have who? Mike? Heather? Mike? All right, 30 seconds. Take it away.
Yeah, we have a unique opportunity in Chinatown. We have a population here with a language. We can actually have police who are dedicated in the area and can create the connection, so we have the proper reporting and that we can build those relationships between police and the people in the community. We have this unique opportunity in Chinatown we really don't have anywhere else in the city. In terms of the cleanliness, we actually don't just need to wash and whitewash the walls, we can do better like the murals that you've seen going all over Chinatown.
咁政策方面咧都係希望同警察局咧有更緊密嘅聯繫，咁例如會有更多報告啊，同埋咧會將同警局嘅關係咧係更加密切嘅，咁所以可以確保我哋唐人街嘅安全治安係做到最好嘅。咁另外亦都係會可以考慮譬如除咗清洗之外，或者係啲美化呢個環境等等。
Next one, 30 seconds for Heather.
There's a lot of complexity to this issue, but you have got a wonderful solution started here in Chinatown with Bill Zhang and his Rapid Care initiative. We should be funding organizations like that, and we should be tagging that in with a community reporting station. They have a great model in Vancouver where you have community members that work with CPS, so we could address the language barriers, make sure that there's friendly faces, but to ensure that those volunteers are kept safe and supported by CPS.
Thank you, Heather. Translation.
咁而家其實咧，唐人街呢度咧亦都有呢啲好嘅政策已經實行緊㗎啦。咁不過咧，亦都可以增加多啲嘅資金啦，嚟繼續持續發展啦。例如好似根據譬如溫哥華嗰個模式嘅，咁亦都係可以加多啲資源去解決呢啲語言障礙嘅問題等等。
Okay. Who's next? Everyone got it? Right? All right, cool. This is a very complex issue. Everything is complex and everything is sort of connected to each other. But let's see who wants to have the first rebuttal to start. 15 seconds on, let's say Mike. Mike was the first one to comment. The other three candidates? No? No? Okay.
Which order are we going in? Sorry.
Really doesn't matter. But David, your comment, the other three candidates, anything for David to answer? Okay, Terry, the other three candidates. David, go ahead, 15 seconds.
Yeah, Terry, I'd like to ask you, how are more police going to be the answer here? Right? If we are just taking people to incarcerate them and then there's no space in the system to handle them, they're coming right back into the same spot. So how are more police going to answer?
Okay, the other two, anyone? Another 15 seconds for each. On Terry. Go ahead, Mike.
Sure, I'll just add to that, yeah, we need to deal with the root causes of poverty and homelessness that are actually rampant within downtown. We've been trying to work on this for years, but we seem to have really given up on that over the last couple of years. We need to deal with those root causes and have the knock-on effects afterwards.
Great. Heather, your 15 seconds. No, okay, Terry, you have 30 seconds.
Thank you. One of the things we hear loud and clear, not just in Chinatown, but across the city, there's not enough policemen when you want them. There's not enough visibility of policemen when you want them. When you take a look at what's happening right now, you walk down Cinema Park, when somebody comes up and takes your necklace away, and there's nobody there to fight for them. That's what we're hearing all the time. In addition to police, we need to back up police with those social services through our PAC team, through the Safer Calgary programs. It's a combination of policing as well as social services.
Terry. Okay, we'll do the translation first.
幾位主要咧就係希望質問 Terry 啦，就係話而家其實點解係大家都發現警力方面咧嘅支持唔夠啦，而且亦都係想知道咧究竟點解有啲咩嘅最基本嘅原因係話點解會令到有咁多譬如貧困嘅人喺呢個附近喺呢個範圍啦。咁其實Terry 嘅回應咧就係話，其實大家都知道整個城市咧個警力咧其實都係好不足嘅，所以亦都影響到有好多不穩定性喺呢個大家所住嘅社區，特別係唐人街呢度啦。咁所以其實 Terry 就覺得我哋點樣可以其實更加可以支持到其他嘅社會服務啦，令到呢個社區係更加安全嘅。
Okay. So David has expressed the other three candidates. Anything for David? 15 seconds. Okay, the last one. Heather. Other candidates. What Heather was saying. 15 seconds for Terry.
Yeah, just one question is, everything that Heather just said is already being done in Chinatown. We do have community helping each other. We do have ways in which we can do reporting. So my question is, what's different?
No more? And Heather, you have 30 seconds.
Yeah, I don't dispute that there are things happening in community. What we know is that there is simply not enough. We know that there is only support for social issues from 9 to 5, and we need support 24/7. So there is a lot more that we can do to ensure that your community feels safe.
Thank you, Heather. Translation.
主要咧，Terry 個提問就係話，其實咧而家大家提出呢啲問題咧，其實一直都喺度，亦都有政策係處理緊嘅。咁其實咁而家，所以佢就想知道 Heather 佢究竟有咩特別可以額外做到，或者有啲咩唔同可以做到咧？咁其實Heather 個回應咧就係話其實而家大家知道所有嘅支援咧都係好有限制嘅，咁係亦都好唔足夠。所以如果可以做到就係話任何時刻24小時每一日都有支持嘅話咧，咁亦都可以令到呢個社區就會係更加安全。
Okay, well, thank you so much. And we'll move on to the next segment, which is getting questions from the floor. And we have quite a bit of submissions. Each candidate has 30 seconds to answer, no rebuttal. So we'll draw one, and everyone will take turn. And this time, I'm going to start with David for question 1 from the floor, and Mike To start on question number 2 from the floor. Does it make sense? Okay. Just to show our fairness, I guess, Kenneth, can you find someone from a participant to draw? I did not see anything. This is just, not improvisation, but more than that. Very serious stuff. Okay, in Chinese. Thank you. Public safety. I'm going to see the word as well. Okay. 經常有噪音，有人非法賽車、塗鴉、晚上聚集，有何預防措施？如何平衡執法同埋融入社區，避免 marginalized group 受到不公平對待 ？Okay, so this is about public safety. In particular, noise, especially during quiet hours, wee hours. Of course, we have the control, the noise, the decibel. We follow that good neighbor policy as well. Graffiti is another issue. Gathering at night, for whatever reason, seems to create disruption in Chinatown. What is your work to tackle those issues? How do you balance the justice and participation? Because they do have the right somehow, okay? But at the end of the day, marginalized groups have been treated unfairly. How do we avoid that? So it's a very packed question. You have 30 seconds each, and I said David to begin. Are you ready? Just tell me. Okay, all right. Johnny. Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, Chinatown and Chinese Calgarians have faced marginalization for over a century. We absolutely need to address noise issues. We have a new group with on the streets noise issues with loud vehicles. We just need to actually enforce that beyond 9 to 5. We do need to work with our organizations that are hosting major events as well to make sure that they are adhering to bylaws a little bit more closely. And we need to improve lighting and community comfort in the neighborhood.
Okay, well, we'll move on to Heather. Oh, sorry, translation again.
咁我留意到咧，即係其實唐人街而家咧係好多呢啲問題啦，亦都因為係大家係邊緣化咗，咁所以其實好多呢啲噪音等等嘅問題嘅。咁而我嘅方法咧就係會係話希望所有大家組織係策劃任何活動嘅時候咧，係會根據我哋嘅法例啦，唔會製造太多噪音或者影響太多居民嘅，亦都係會改善呢啲燈光嘅問題，令到地方大家覺得安全啲。
Thank you. 30 seconds for Heather.
Enforcement of existing bylaws is a really consistent message that I bump up against not only in Chinatown but in communities throughout the ward. So we need consistent enforcement of bylaws so that we are creating communities that are a joy to live in, especially in downtown. We have undervalued people that live in downtown, and that needs to change through strong advocacy.
Thank you. Translation.
咁其實都係Heather 都係覺得其實執法嘅時候咧，可能我哋要更加有一致性，同埋要更加着重呢個執法嘅問題啦。等大家咧係可以根據呢個法例去遵守法例嘅。咁而佢覺得所有居民喺呢度咧都係有少少係唔夠重視，咁所以佢會繼續係強調呢一樣嘢。
Okay, next, Terry, 30 seconds.
During the stampede, we heard that noise from the cowboys, noise from Badlands, noise everywhere was a problem. The problem is this: administration allows applicants to apply for anything they want and have any sort of festival event. August, I met with council, I met with administration. We were going to come up with a standard festival event policy. Same time, same noise, same exemption, everything's the same. On top of that, we also created an integrated event management team to make sure, as she said, 5 times solve.
咁 Terry 都會亦都一直係正視緊呢個噪音問題嘅。咁佢話發表嘅時候咧，佢就同議會開個會，咁係希望制定到咧係管制噪音嘅時間，同埋喺某一個音量之下嘅。
Okay, we'll move on to Mike. Go ahead, 30 seconds.
Vehicle noise in Ward 7 has become a really big issue. And you and Chinatown are actually right in the heart of it between Center Street, Edmonton Trail, and Memorial Drive, as well as going through downtown. We need to actually enforce. In Edmonton, they actually brought in a fine that was 3 times the level of what we have in Calgary, and they actually have police officers out and enforcing the rules around vehicle noise. That is quality of life. We need to be able to sleep at night on a hot summer night with our window open.
咁其實咧特別係汽車噪音嘅問題咧，喺downtown整個市中心咧都係好嚴重嘅。咁所以我或者可以參考下Edmonton嘅做法，就會係可能有一個懲罰性嘅告票啦。如果真係違反咗嘅話咧，有3倍嘅罰款嘅。咁而希望能夠控制到呢個噪音咧，大家係可以有一個寧靜嘅晚上。
Okay, great. Wrap up question number 1. We have question number 2 from the floor, and we'll draw. Kenneth, you'll pick. Find someone. Thank you. I'm glad I have my progressive lens. Alright, I say in English, I'll try to do it in English first, okay? This question, the Chinatown Cultural Plan speaks to the theory of planning culturally, and a theory that speaks to needing flexibility when working with the community, changing norms, using tactics that are culturally appropriate. This is really getting there. If elected, how will you commit to the cultural plan, and how will you ensure your office has a connection to the people here, not just showing up to the events? I'm going to show you this like good handwriting, but okay. Let me do it in Chinese quickly. 明日唐人街有2個部分，有一個係 area redevelopment plan， 係一個規劃嘅改變；另外一個係文化嘅計劃 cultural plan。咁有呢2個嘅改變話，除咗從呢個理論上面或者係概念啦 concept， 點樣從呢一個行動上面實踐可以達到有策略、有方法，令到呢一個社區更加文化上面嘅配合。一旦你哋係被選為代議士，你哋點樣去 commit？ 你點樣去確定要做呢一件事？點樣令到呢一個嘅串連 connection 係同人，即係以人為本啦，唔係淨係出現喺啲活動影下相咁樣。Okay, so I will start with Mike as promised. 30 seconds for Mike.
Yeah, it is. At the city, we are very good at creating beautiful plans, making beautiful documents that summarize a lot of great ideas in the community, but we never actually turn them into reality on the ground. We see this on every kind of plan, not just the Chinatown plan, but every kind of plan. We need people at the city who are dedicated and focused on making sure that that plan comes to life. So this requires actual staff dedicated to realizing that and becoming a conduit between the city and the community.
Thank you. Translation.
我哋嘅市政府有好多好漂亮嘅計劃嘅，唔單止關於我哋譬如呢個明日嘅唐人街計劃，但係好多時候問題都係呢啲計劃係從來冇人去執行，只係有嗰啲文字好多報告好多好好嘅計劃，但最後冇人去做，咁所以其實好需要我哋市政府真係有一啲委派一啲專門嘅人員去執行呢啲計劃，咁佢先有可能嘅實現。
Thank you, Mike. Terry, 30 seconds. Question.
So when the cultural plan and ARP were approved, council's job is not to manage. Council's job is to get administration to do the job. Administration has resources, have worked with the community. The question is whether or not they've done enough. Have they been given enough resources? Secondly, have they been identified the right leadership? That's the thing that we need to change. Administration needs to find the actual leadership and give them the resources to do the job. It is in there already. My job is to push that button and give them the resources. That's it.
Translation.
係，咁當然我哋市議會就唔係實際去執行一啲計劃嘅人啦，其實係市政府去做嘅。咁所以我哋好需要可能係配備相關資源，等市政府去做啦，同埋需要有好嘅領導去執行咁樣。
Okay, 30 seconds for Heather.
So any funding around the cultural plan, my understanding would be it would be up to community on how you deploy those funds. You're the best equipped to respond to your cultural needs. You don't need to be dictated to about how that works. And as far as connection to community, I am a big fan of being boots on the ground during business hours. I love the opportunity to connect with people and understand how the streetscape operates. It informs your decision making in a very different way, and that is my commitment to residents.
Thank you. Translation.
係，咁當然如果有資源嘅時候，係應該係由社區去決定點樣去運用嗰啲資源嘅。咁當然我亦都好支持，即係就算我做到議員，都會係同社區嘅各種嘅聯絡嘅聯繫，會繼續去持續做落去嘅。
Okay, all right. David, take it away.
I have experience working with and advocating for community projects at the city as well as in community. I commit to continuously meeting with, learning from, and being responsive to local community leaders. We absolutely need action on this. We cannot just approve a plan, but we actually have to move it forward with support and with advocacy.
Thank you.
咁其實我自己本身一路都係喺社區裏面工作啦，係絕對去認同係需要同社區嘅人士一齊去合作，去點樣去執行一啲相關嘅計劃嘅。當然唔單止係去口去講啦，係實際行動係最重要嘅。
All right, well, we are right at the halfway of the agenda, and exactly 60 minutes gone, and we have another 60 minutes coming up. So my responsibility, one, has been checked right on time, hopefully on brief and on budget, of course. Next one. Going back to the compulsory questions, we identified 4. We have gone through 2. So these 2 questions coming up are also compulsory. Let's look at what we have. Housing and affordability. Ward 7 has been one of the highest renter populations in Calgary. Chinatown faces redevelopment pressure that could displace low-income seniors and small businesses. The Housing and Affordability Task Force, generated in 2023, recommended leveraging city-owned land for non-market housing. What specific policy will you champion to ensure affordable housing options remain in Chinatown and across Ward 7? Such as inclusionary zoning, rent stabilization, or non-market housing partnership. Do you support using city-owned land for non-market and mixed-income housing as the task force recommended? How will you work with provincial and federal governments to secure sustained funding? How will you prevent redevelopment from displacing existing low-income tenants or family-run businesses? Would you also support return guarantees, rent bridges, and heritage-based redevelopment overlays?
出選區咧就係卡加利租戶最多嘅地區之一。咁唐人街咧而家就面臨緊重建嘅壓力啦，亦都可能導致低收入嘅老年人同埋小型企業咧係被逼流離失所嘅。咁住宅同可負擔嘅性工作小組嘅工作小組咧就會建議利用呢個而家現有嘅土地啦，製造非市場化嘅住宅。咁你候選人將會倡導邊一啲具體嘅政策，以確保唐人街同埋第7區咧能夠保持經濟適用房選擇，例如包容性分區嘅租金穩定或者非市場化嘅住房合作咧。另外你所有候選人係咪支持呢個工作小組建議嘅利用市屬嘅土地建造非市場化嘅住房或者混合收入住房，咁你又將會如何同省或者聯邦政府合作，咁確保持續嘅資金支持呢度嘅唐人街嘅商戶咧？你將會如何防止呢個重建計劃導致而家現有嘅低收入住戶或者家族企業被逼流離失所？咁同埋你係咪會支持回歸保障租金過橋貸款或者基於歷史遺產嘅重建覆蓋等等議題？
Yeah, it's a question. It's actually a research. We need to pack everything together and make sure that we touch on everything. Of course, it's your choice to answer on certain things. Like that lady said, we can't cover so much. We asked that question. This is like a 15-issue question in one. Okay. To be fair.
Can you put that question back on the screen so we can read it?
Yeah. So there are two parts. I think the most important thing, the key word is affordable housing in Chinatown, and the continuation of that support to see downtown vibrancy that benefits Chinatown, right? And the city doesn't have a lot of lands. That's the problem. Okay. Good? Okay, David, first crack.
Sure.
And then we swing by this from David to Mike. Okay, 30 seconds, David, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, to answer the one question, the specific question, yes, I support using city land for nonprofit and affordable housing. Chinatown has an incredibly unique spread of housing options, something, both market and non-market, something that we should be looking at to replicate across the city. But there's still a huge demand for non-market affordable housing, and it's a reason that I've done so much advocacy on this. However, it's also really critical that all the new developments, or any new developments in the community, adhere to the cultural aesthetic and plans outlined in the ARP.
Time's up. Okay.
咁我絕對係支持呢個可負擔嘅房屋嘅呢個政策嘅。咁但係因為其實呢個華埠咧，其實係好有特色，亦都同其他城市同我哋本身卡加利市其他地方係有唔同嘅。咁不過咧就會而家就係話點樣可以發展我哋嘅華埠，亦都同時保留到我哋原有文化特色咧。
Okay. Heather? 30 seconds.
Yeah, our non-market affordable housing has reached a new low of 2.75% of our housing stock. It's unforgivable. I do support redevelopment, but only with assurances that we are not displacing existing residents. We saw that done with a trailer park in the past, and we cannot repeat that misguided action again. We need to ensure that we are moving forward compassionately in lockstep with the community and supporting everybody where they're at.
Thank you. Translation?
咁其實對於呢個可以負擔嘅住屋政策咧，其實佢係絕對支持，亦都發現而家咧其實呢個嘅可負擔房屋咧係好少嘅，咁所以其實佢所以就係唔可以原諒嘅。咁而且對於點樣可以確保咧大家可以有可負擔嘅住屋咧，係佢會繼續係呢個發展嘅方向，會支持呢個發展方向。
Thank you. Okay. Terry?
Thank you. When we talk about making affordable housing, the greatest cost is the land. So yes, we need to make city land available. We have city land in Chinatown that will be made available. The second part of the equation is you need more land. And when you take a look at Chinatown today, the boundary at Harry Hayes, if you take a look at the historical, Chinatown used to go on a Reconciliation Bridge. We will redo the boundary to a Reconciliation Bridge, create more land available for more affordable housing opportunities.
Terry 咧就會覺得最重要咧，其實點樣可以咧令到我哋有更多嘅土地可以發展呢個唐人街嘅住屋，成為呢個可以負擔嘅居住房屋。
Okay. Mike?
Chinatown actually is the highest concentration of non-market housing anywhere in the city. It is the highest level, and we need to learn from the model that we've had in the past and the incredible work that's been done here to leverage it for how we move forward in the future, not just in Chinatown, but across the city. This is where we are an aging population. We have a lot to learn about Chinatown and how you've supported seniors. We are a population who needs affordable housing on a mass scale. We can learn from the wins that Chinatown has brought in the past, and we can
Time's up.
咁呢個唐人街咧，其實係一個非常高密度嘅住宅地區啦。咁所以最重要咧就係點樣我哋喺過往嘅經驗同埋或者甚至從其他城市咧去從中學習，咁可以起建一啲更加可以負擔到嘅房屋，俾我哋主要嘅住客就係例如一啲長者咁樣嘅。
Okay. Well, we are going to the responses on David's answer. The other three candidates, any? Okay, on Heather's? Going once. Okay, David, go ahead. You have 15.
Yeah, thanks Heather for your answer. How do you actually prevent displacement? My platform has renter protections and right of return. Does your party's?
Mike? No? Terry? On Heather? No? Okay. Heather, you have 30 seconds.
Well, rent controls actually can't be enforced by the city. That needs to be done by the province. So I think that that's not a very fair question, David. But we are all about and very proactive about housing. We're the only party talking about a pro-housing strategy. We have got a housing first strategy. We know that housing is the most critically important need for us to address, and we would not have voted no to important housing starts like the one in Bowness, which Mr. Wong voted no to this year. So.
Thank you, Heather. Translation?
咁主要就係即係就會質問Heather 究竟其實佢點樣可以做到呢個政策咧？咁其實咁Heather 就會覺得需要加入呢個租金管控嘅。
Okay, well, are the three candidates on Terry's response on this issue? Anyone? David, 15 seconds.
Terry, I don't think you answered the question. Do you support affordable housing, or should we look at your voting record?
Heather and Mike? Heather?
I would actually expand that. Do you support housing? Because we could look at your voting record.
And Mike, last word? No? Okay, Terry, you have 30 seconds. Translation first? Should we do translation first? No. After Terry's response, 30 seconds.
So thank you for the question about my voting record. I voted against Bowness Trust. I voted against Glenmore Landing. Why? Because we asked both trusts and we asked RioCan to answer a question that they never did. Because they never did that, what they're proposing was actually destroying communities. I don't want to destroy communities. I want to build housing that supports communities. That's the reason why we're voting against it. So yes, I do support housing, but let's do it the right way.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go to translation.
咁主要幾位咧就質疑 Terry 究竟其實佢究竟係支持呢個住房嘅政策咧，定係有咩係定係唔係支持嘅？咁 Terry 嘅回應咧就係話其實佢係支持呢個房屋政策，但係佢唔希望呢啲政策咧係會係摧毀咗本身呢個社區嘅。
Mike's response, the other three? Anything? David? 15 seconds.
Yeah, Mike, you didn't actually say anything about what you do. All you did was say that Chinatown's a good example, so should we just freeze Chinatown in amber and say that we've met the needs of Chinatown? Is that what you're suggesting?
The other ones, Terry? No? Heather? No? Okay, Mike, 30 seconds.
No, I just ran out of time. I'm sorry. 30 seconds is not my strength for answering answers. Like complex ones like this, Chinatown is an important place. We need to retain the cultural heritage of this place, both in the building standards and the way we move forward. We have to make sure that new growth make sure that we are continuing that heritage into the future. And beyond that, yes, using city-owned land, but also making sure that we're holding new development on the private side accountable to the same standards and expectations on the public side.
Thank you. Translation.
主要就係質疑緊究竟Mike嘅政策咧，其實係咪即係話唔做任何嘢，咁就所以所有嘢保持不變咁樣咧？咁但係Mike嘅回應就話其實佢係支持一啲新嘅發展，只不過係咧希望同時發展嘅同期咧，亦都可以保留到我哋原有華埠嘅本身嘅文化特色嘅。
Okay, well, that wraps up our question on public housing and affordability. And of course, just in case you didn't know, there are handouts from all the candidates, and you can also see the platforms on the website, so I know time is always limited. So, great. We may have more time since Greg is not here and some of the rebuttals is shortened. We may have more time for one more question or two from the floor. So we will also draw a couple more questions. We'll see. Next question is another compulsory question. Economic vibrancy. And again, this is a broad-based, heavy-loaded question. Many Chinatown businesses struggle with declining foot traffic, aging buildings, and limited city investment. The BIA continues to support self-funded cleanup and promotion efforts, but major public realm upgrades, including lighting, signage, facades, require municipal backing. Calgary's downtown strategy and forthcoming tax shift by 2026 will shape downtown and probably Chinatown's economic future. Chinatown could be Calgary's leading cultural tourism destination, showcasing food, festivals, heritage, and year-round events. How will you leverage city resources, partnerships, and economic development programs to attract investment, encourage new businesses, and revitalize Chinatown as a thriving cultural and economic district? And what action will you take to position Chinatown as a must-visit destination? Again, tourism marketing partnerships, as you see, G7, International Rotary Conference just happened, Stampede, of course, is always a fixture. But other than that, what else? Cultural event funding, integration into Calgary's destination strategy, and that goes back to also downtown strategy as well.
有好多唐人街嘅商家面臨住客流量下降、建築物老化同埋市政府投資有限嘅困境。唐人街嘅 BIA 商業促進會繼續係自費咁進行清理、清潔同埋一啲推廣嘅工作，但大型嘅公共場所嘅升級，譬如關於照明、標誌同埋外牆嘅修飾咧，都需要市政府嘅支援。卡加利嘅市中心策略同埋即將喺2026年實施嘅稅收調整，將塑造唐人街嘅經濟未來。唐人街預計將成為卡加利領先嘅文化旅遊目的地，展示美食、慶節、文化遺產同埋全年嘅活動。咁問題就係你將點樣去利用市政府嘅資源同合作伙伴嘅關係同埋經濟發展嘅項目嚟到吸引投資，鼓勵新企業同埋振興唐人街，使到唐人街成為一個繁榮嘅文化同埋經濟區咧。你將採取邊一啲嘅乜嘢嘅措施，將唐人街打造成為必遊嘅目的地？例如係咪一啲旅遊行銷嘅合作伙伴關係、文化活動嘅資金啦，或者融入卡加利目的地嘅策略？
Do you want to see the English again? No? This time? Okay. Terry? Okay, 30 seconds. Terry, go ahead.
Thank you. First I'll say give credit to the BIA, community associations, all the town halls here. You've done a good job, but it's not enough. One of the things that we don't give you is that direction of leadership, the support. So the thing that I will do is, number one, create a person in a city hall, a cultural director, that will lead and manage the city and you together. One concentrated voice. Secondly, as I said, expand Chinatown's boundary and expand to different cultural districts, whether it be for Chinese, Vietnamese, any others.
Time's up.
係咁，我首先想講嘅咧就係我哋嘅華埠商業促進會啦，同埋我哋嘅街坊會其實做咗好多好大量同埋好嘅工作嘅。咁當然，如果我喺市嘅議會裏面，咁我就會要求即係政府會有一個文化嘅主任或者一個負責人，去同大家一齊合作，去更好嘅做好即係唐人街嘅活化嘅工作嘅。
仲有一個係擴充唐人街嘅版圖。
擴充唐人街嘅版圖，唔該晒。
好，Who's next? Ethan? Okay, 30 seconds.
So the Calgary Party is proposing storefront and interior improvement grants to help property owners upgrade older spaces and attract new tenants. I think this could be especially meaningful in Chinatown. It would be a $50,000 grant for exteriors and $10,000 for public-facing interior improvements. But I also want to go back to the downtown strategy because Chinatown is the only area that has not seen that investment through that funding strategy, and I think that is shameful.
Okay, translation.
係咁，我哋嘅卡加利嘅黨咧，咁我哋會支持就係我哋要有一啲嘅資金俾我哋嘅商戶咧，去提升佢嘅商店嘅一啲嘅裝修啊、裝潢啊，無論裏邊同外面嘅，咁都提到係有5萬蚊同1萬蚊咁樣啦。咁亦都我認為咧，即係而家喺市政府嘅種種嘅計劃之下，但係實際上係冇一啲嘅資金流到去唐人街。 幫助各個嘅商戶咧，其實係一個好羞恥嘅事嚟嘅。
Okay, next. David. Take it away.
Calgary's Chinatown is iconic, and I believe that through investments and working with community groups, we can elevate it even more. We have to continue to make progress improving walkability and transit reliability in Chinatown to help make sure that it remains economically vibrant. We also need to work closely with the Chinatown BIA to look at having Chinatown or Chinatown groups as a civic partner, which would then unlock a lot of additional support from the city. The tax shift is something that is slowly occurring so that we can be a little bit more sustainable.
係，咁我都係支持會繼續，即係話無論係議會或者係政府都應該係繼續同我哋嘅地區嘅組織啦，同埋同我哋嘅 BI 我哋嘅華埠嘅商業促進會去合作嘅，去改善我哋嘅令到唐人街譬如係一個更好嘅大家去活動嘅地方，咁以至我哋可以吸引更多嘅人流同埋支持到啲嘅商戶嘅。所以咧，我聽唔到講咩？Brian。
Tax shift by 2026.
我聽到
Yeah. So that is happening. So eventually the tax shift by 2026, the 2% shift that will complete. Okay. Mike, last but not least.
Yeah, Chinatown is a shining example of what innovation, initiative, and creativity happens when a community just comes together and actually just works through their problems on their own. And think about how much better it could be if the city actually got behind you and actually leveraged the ideas. You put that forward, you've created a plan, you brought that to the table, you said to the city, this is what we need and this is how we need to grow. What it is now is that the city needs to come to bear and be a partner and make sure that we are at the table with you.
咁其實我哋唐人街嘅社區嘅組織或者人士其實係非常有創造力，有好多創新嘅嘢，其實已經係進行當中嘅。咁市政府一個好重要嘅角色就係真係嚟到大家嘅當中，去同大家一齊去合作，去令到呢啲嘅計劃可以實現出嚟。
Okay, well, according to my orders, Terry, Heather, David, and Mike, and on Terry's response, the other three candidates, any rebuttal? Heather, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd like to ask a little bit about the addition of a cultural director, because I think the last thing we need is more bureaucracy within city administration.
David, any?
Yes, I would build on that and also say, how does expanding the boundaries help at all with economic vibrancy or walkability?
Thank you, and Mike?
On that one, I'd say, why does expanding the boundaries? We need to really focus on this area where the people are right now. How do we not just focus on here and not spread the resources thinner across a wider area?
Okay, Terry, 30 seconds, go ahead.
Yeah, so one thing is navigating Chinatown, navigating City Hall has been difficult. And I hear you said that to me before. Having a point of contact right through me to the general managers and everybody else is what will make the difference. Navigating City Hall, finding the dollars, finding the land use, finding that. Expanding the boundaries. Right now, when you take a look at the 9 square blocks we have now, there's only so much we can do. But there's greater opportunity. If we create a renewal area, people say, that used to be Chinatown, let's make it Chinatown again.
Time's up.
係，咁剛才嘅提問或者質疑就主要係譬如 Heather 就提到Terry 剛才講到我哋需要喺市政府裏面設置一個叫做一個文化嘅主任去做關於唐人街嘅工作啦。咁其實Heather 就話咁我哋唔需要更多嘅啲官僚嘅一啲嘅官僚嘅系統。咁另外就係所謂呢個擴充唐人街嘅一個邊界嘅其實係點樣會幫到唐人街咧？反而會唔會令到我哋嘅資源更加係分散？咁Terry 嘅回答就係話其實大家一路同我講嘅問題就係我哋好難去用到即係同市政府嘅溝通，或者係點樣去爭取到更多嘅資源。咁但係如果有一個咁樣嘅人士，有一個咁樣嘅專門係指定嘅官員，咁當然應該係可以更加好嘅增進咗大家嘅溝通，同埋幫助大家係唐人街嘅不同嘅組織去爭取同應用到市政府嘅資源嘅。關於擴展邊界嗰度咧，我就聽得唔好清楚啊 ，Brian 可以幫下手。
喺擴展邊界嗰度亦都係增加咗嗰個土地啦，從而係有嗰個發展經濟嘅機會嘅。
哦，土地啦。
咁都係我哋嘅翻譯咧，到最終以英文為本大家嗰個嘅留 現嗰個情況。OK， next up on Heather's answer on this question, the other three candidates who wants to have a question for Heather. David?
Sure. Interior grants, public subsidies. That doesn't seem fiscally sustainable or responsible. $50,000 across all businesses? How is that going to work? That's just not going to pencil out.
Otherwise, anyone? Sorry, Terry?
Yeah, thank you, David. That's a really astute financial consideration, especially when we talk about affordability. When we talk about affordability, that's actually taxes that you're going to have to pay to do this. There are ways that we can support businesses without, giving everybody $1,000.
Mike, you have anything to add? Okay, Heather, 30 seconds.
Well, let's be clear, not every business is going to apply for a grant. So I'm going to say that that's not actually a realistic concern. And we make granting decisions all the time at the City of Calgary. It's about prioritizing supporting businesses at a time that they need it, at a time that we're struggling coming out of COVID, at a time that we have not recovered. And my understanding is that you have properties in Chinatown that could really benefit from some investment from the city. That's what we've spent the afternoon talking about, I believe.
係咁，剛才嘅提問就主要講到Peter 開頭提到話，我哋應該喺市政府嘅層次有一啲嘅資金俾一啲嘅商戶去申請，去改善佢哋嘅門面啊各方面啊。咁但係嘅提問就係話，咁如果你個個都俾5萬蚊，咁你邊有多錢啊？你會唔會亦都令到你嘅稅務嘅負擔更加重啦？咁當然佢嘅回答就係其實我哋本身政府就有好多呢啲不同嘅資金係俾不同嘅項目去申請嘅。咁當然重點就係一個優先嘅次序啦，同埋當然都未必係每一個嘅單位或者商戶都會申請咁樣。
Okay. On David answered the other three questions. Heather, Terry, no? Mike, thank you. No? Pass? All right.
我本身冇問題問 David 嘅。
Right. And Mike, the other three on Mike's answer. Anyone? No? Okay, I think we are saving some time for something. More questions from the floor. Why not? Yeah. There's a quote, let's move on to the next compulsory. Is that the last one? Oh, that's the last one. That's the last one. Right, absolutely. Question from the floor. Number 3 and number 4, one at a time. Okay, all right, Chinese. Okay. 第7區有好多新嘅移民，有婦女、長者，如何加強佢哋社會嘅安全網、公共參與，如何加強跨代嘅融入 ？Okay, well, this one is all about participation. Ward 7 has many newcomers, including the people and migrants and immigrants, also women, vulnerable sectors such as the seniors. How do we create a safety net for them and encourage them, like civic participation to come out to do more? How could you enhance the intergenerational integration in that? Okay, approved by the translator. Yeah, sorry. Civic participation, safety net, and of course, multi-generational integration for seniors, women, and newcomers. Mike? Sure. Yeah, 30 seconds, please.
I did a tour a couple weeks ago of Chinatown and got to see some of the incredible societies that are gathering seniors across Chinatown. It's a beautiful model of associations bringing people together, playing mahjong in the afternoon. There's also incredible stuff happening over here at the cultural center, like in terms of recreation, getting people together. We just need to make sure that these programs are funded and it's not all falling on the backs of volunteer organizations solely as their responsibility.
Time's up.
咁其實咧佢就亦都近排都參與過我哋華埠呢啲好多好特別嘅節目項目啦。咁佢覺得咧我哋華埠而家咧其實好多唔同嘅組織咧已經係嚟 嘅居民，咁而佢係會着重係點樣可以確保有持續嘅資金係繼續令呢啲項目可以繼續落去俾到我哋嘅居民。
Okay, thanks, Terry.
Yeah, one thing that we need to do is not just rely on the city of Calgary. We need to rely on the province. Our province, the multicultural ministry, immigration ministry, we need to go back to them and say, hey, if you really truly believe that Alberta is a multicultural community, show us the money. Send the money down to communities so that you can do what you need to do. Don't put the money in City Hall, put the money with you. I'll advocate for that.
咁通常就會覺得咧其實咧我哋除咗要靠呢個加加利嘅市政府之外咧，仲有其他嘅地方咧都需要投入資金咧，係俾我哋繼續發展呢啲多元文化嘅項目嘅。
Okay, Heather.
We've seen some wonderful examples of integrating university-age students into seniors' living environments, and that it can be a win-win for everyone. You maybe can subsidize the cost of living for a student, and they can contribute to the quality of life for seniors. I'm not sure that that's something that can be prescribed by Calgary Council, but it's certainly something that we can advocate for to the many organizations that we provide funding to.
Thank you.
咁 Heather 就覺得咧，其實我哋可以參考下一啲特別嘅模式，例如係將一啲大學生或者高等院校嘅學生就同一啲長者一齊有一個共同嘅社區啊，可以亦都提供一啲資助俾呢啲社群，咁等佢哋可以改善佢哋嘅生活啦，同埋佢會繼續支持同埋喺市議會嗰度咧，希望有更多嘅資金係發展嘅。
Thank you, David.
Fantastic. Calgary's downtown and much of Ward 7 is where many new Calgarians arrive when they first land. We need to make sure that we are creating an environment with parks, supports, and services that allow them to thrive. This means prioritizing downtown green spaces and investing in our parks, not just paving them over, Terry. It means making sure that we have culturally relevant worship and recreation spaces, and this is where the city can support local community organizations here in Chinatown to upgrade that community space, like there are existing grants for.
咁其實呢個我哋呢個範圍咧，其實有好多公園啊，同埋亦都可以繼續持續做一啲綠化咁樣嘅項目啦，令到可以有更多嘅文化服務或者康樂服務喺我哋呢個社群入邊。咁當然亦都需要市政府繼續支持，俾資金我哋嘅。
Okay, all right. So then the fourth question from the floor. Kenneth? So we gathered these questions before the event, and I think that was quite good in terms of participation. This is a very, very short one. Okay, it's a comment. It's a comment. Please ensure the Chinatown safety. Please do it well. I don't think it's a question. I think it's a comment because it says thank you. So thank you for that question. We'll find one more. As we all know, we need. Okay, simplify Chinese. 卡城華埠唐人街居住不少嘅老人家，日常生活裏邊佢哋想買啲鮮肉啊、鮮蔬菜啊都買唔到啦。佢哋大部分咧都年事已高，難以去遠嘅超級市場購物。請議員幫忙解決呢一個問題。一位係居住喺惠群大廈嘅老人家嘅長者。Okay, all right. So that ties in with tomorrow Chinatown. Okay. Currently, we understand roughly, if my number is correct, is 1,300, 1,500 residents in Chinatown. Many are Chinese and many are seniors, including the essentials. What they need to do every day is to get grocery, meat, fresh, veggies and whatnot. And there's the challenge for them is they are very, old and not easy to move. Even they navigate to different districts or the bigger supermarkets that we know that has Asian grocery, it's not easy. Okay, so if you are elected, how do you solve this problem? Would you mind if I add something? Because tomorrow Chinatown has that. in terms of how you get an anchor tenant, like the superstore and the TNT. There is a certain threshold that you need to meet in terms of the number of residents. As far as I know, 5,000 residents. So major anchor tenant could move in. However, going back to the economic vibrancy, this is timing with rental and everything else. Parking, there's no loading zones for them. I'm going to add so much to that because I know it's a very complex issue. And for them to take a bus, sometimes it's not frequent. They go to Crescent Heights or TNT. It's even just to consider that impossible to many people with mobility challenge. Okay, as an elected official, what would you do? What should you do? Who wants? Terry? Okay, 30 seconds.
Yeah, thank you. Not only do we have a documented cultural plan, when we started the BIA back in 2016, we did a consultant study to identify exactly how we do these things. Having a ground floor retail anchor tenant is definitely one of those things to do. But again, you need to bring investors in. To bring investors in, we need to make land available to them. There's a parking lot behind Dragon City Mall. There's a parking lot across the street. Opportunity to do that. We need to make it easier for them to develop.
Time's up.
當然我哋有我哋嘅本身嘅除咗文化計劃之外，其實係就算喺2016年嘅時候 ，BIA 裏面都有好多嘅討論關於即係我哋點樣可以吸引到一啲嘅商戶進入到唐人街嘅。當然我哋需要有土地啦，我哋需要帶到一啲投資者嚟啦。咁可能真係要考慮有冇呢啲嘅地方我哋可以容納到一啲比較大嘅商戶係進入嘅。
So I just want to translate what I said earlier in Cantonese. 喺明日唐人街嘅報告裏邊咧，若果需要有主要嘅 anchor tenant， 即係話大嘅超級市場啊嗰啲入嚟咧，我哋有一個嘅基本嘅標準係有5000嘅居民，要5000嘅居民。咁所以咧，點解東村會有 superstore， 我哋係冇嘅。OK， 咁當然啦，整體嚟講，我哋係可以爭取嘅呢一件事。咁就想解釋翻嗰個即係商業活動，但係唔係話因為冇大統華或者係superstore 細嘅商戶，我哋都要消失喺唐人街裏邊，係咪同經濟發展有關咧？係咪同土地有關咧？係咪同其他問題有關？呢個都係好複雜嘅問題。咁我頭先用英文講嘅，我而家輕輕解釋一下。咁 Terry 講完 ，next is Heather, you have the mic, 30 seconds, please.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I think that if we look at the immediacy of the problem, one of the things that we could do, Chinatown is a key transit corridor, and yet transit stops are underserved. Frequency of transit, as you pointed out, Brian, is not make it acceptable mode of transportation. There's something that we can do immediately with transit to ensure that you can get where you need to go, that you can get there on a timely basis, and you can get there safely.
Thank you. Translation.
係咁，當然有啲我哋可以比較快近期可以做嘅就當然係盡量去增加我哋一啲公共交通嘅頻密嘅班次嘅頻密啦，咁令到大家更加容易去到大家需要去嘅地方。
Okay. Next, I assume David. Go with that way.
Sure. We absolutely need to prioritize finding a space and an anchor tenant, as you said. It's one of the key points that's on my platform and my card over there. I encourage you to check it out. It does require building more housing. But it also requires investing in the sidewalks and the mobility so that we can get over to wherever that grocery store ends up. We also need to invest in our Center Street transit corridor, including making bus lanes up Center Street to make it easier to get to the existing grocery stores such as Lambda Market.
Time's up.
係咁，當然我哋其實好需要係有啲整體喺唐人街嘅改善嘅基本建設嘅改善，包括我哋嗰啲道路啊，我哋一啲嘅公共交通啊，我哋嘅巴士線啊等喺我哋嘅中央街嘅，都其實可以幫助我哋令到我哋更加容易去到我哋需要嘅地方。
Thank you. Going back to Mike. Go ahead. 30 seconds.
I've been an advocate for high quality, high frequency transit for a long time. That's been sort of the world of advocacy that I come from. That really extends sort of the boundaries of where people are able to go, especially those folks who can't drive, and it gives you accessibility all across the city. That includes going up Center Street. This includes investing in the infrastructure, things like the Green Line to make that easier. But beyond that, finding that anchor tenant is really critical. But we have to make sure that our small businesses aren't put at risk when that anchor tenant comes in.
係，咁當然我都好贊成嘅，即係我一路都係支持或者倡導一啲我哋有更加頻密或者更加好質 質素嘅一啲公共交通設施啦。咁呢個當然係好重要嘅。咁當然一啲整體嘅交通嘅改善或者呢個綠色線嘅一啲改善啦，都係其中一個。咁當我哋話要吸引啲大商戶嚟嘅時候，我哋同時都要保持一啲細商戶嘅存在。
Okay, well, since we have time, we are ahead of the curve. We have about 20 minutes, and maybe we'll draw one or two more from the floor, because typically they are a lot more spicy. But that is fine.唐人街面對住重新發展嘅壓力，你有冇對唐人街嘅經濟、社會、文化角度方面嘅振興有任何嘅願景同埋計劃？你對明日唐人街有任何睇法？ Okay, well, this one goes back to tomorrow's Chinatown. We're facing the challenges in terms of development and redevelopment of future potentials, and of course the economic, roller coaster. What do you think the Chinatown in the future? What is your vision and plan? That's very important on economic vibrancy, social and cultural side of things. Going back to the tomorrow's Chinatown. That is the question. Can I scaffold something on that? Because the active frontage and the zones in Chinatown, we have yet to see the going back to the implementation and the money. I think I would give pressure to you about implementation of the money, $750,000. Is it even realistic to this next council fight on that? David?
Sure. Sorry, just making sure that's on. Yes, absolutely, and I think, again, if you look at the commitments, I think there's, most of us at this table would support that. My vision for Chinatown is both to be cherished cultural anchor and a dynamic and integrated part of Calgary's future. And it must be protected due to its cultural importance, but it's also a living and evolving community where people of all ages can live, and where the unique foundation is here for sustainable growth.
我係一定係同意支持呢個明日唐人街嘅計劃嘅，咁就係話點樣可以令到呢個唐人街更加適合好多唔同年紀嘅人士居住啦，大家一齊有好多嘅社區活動啊咁樣嘅。
Terry? Heather? I can repeat the same question. Yeah, of course. 中英文咧，我再講一次啦。Chinatown 面對住重新發展嘅壓力，你哋對唐人街嘅經濟、社會、文化方面同埋振興有咩嘅願景同埋計劃？你對明日唐人街有咩睇法？ So going back to the pressure that is facing Chinatown in terms of potential revitalization and redevelopment and whatnot, what is your vision and plan on economic vibrancy, social activities, and cultural things according to the tomorrow's Chinatown? I think it all ties in together. Okay, does it make sense? Okay, Heather?
We're not going to have economic vibrancy in downtown Calgary until we address the very significant social issues that are impacting our communities. So that is the first priority, I think, for the Calgary Party, is we know that we need a housing first strategy, we need additional mental health and drug addiction supports so that we can make downtown feel vibrant and attractive for Calgarians. That's got to be job number one. But I do think that the funding objective is completely attainable for your tomorrow's Chinatown.
其實咧，對於話想呢個經濟嘅多姿多彩有活力咧，其實係有少少有一個好好嘅住屋政策啊，咁所以令到有更多嘅社區活動可以喺呢度發生，咁然後先至可以帶動到啲經濟等等嘅。
Heather 你都講撥款嗰度係 attainable in terms of funding? Attainable. 75萬。Okay, that's what she said.
即係佢都講埋覺得喺市層次係可以去爭取到75萬嘅資金俾唐人街嘅相關工作。
Okay, Terry, you ready? Next 30 seconds.
Yeah, so first off, to build the cultural capacity, the dollars are there, we just need to prioritize it. More important though, when we talk about economic vibrancy, we need to invest in Chinatown. We need to invest by having investors actually develop land. That means we need to open the doors, be more relaxed in terms of our expectations for land developers in terms of so that they can. And we have talked to investors from China and other places who want to invest here, so that we need to make it available for them to invest to create from China, from other places who want to invest here.
如果我哋可以即係吸引到更多投資者嘅話，咁而家我哋呢個 Chinatown 華埠嘅地價啦，咁我哋就需要咧係更加放寬某啲條例，係歡迎呢啲商家嚟投我哋嘅，可以即係吸引到更多投資者嘅話，咁
in the scale of a multi-billion-dollar organization is nothing. What you're asking for is just a reallocation based on values. So the question is when you are in there, do you value the gains that can be brought to Chinatown by investing in the area? $50,000 in the scale. Make that commitment is very important, not just for you, but for the entire city as a whole. What you're asking for is just a reallocation based on values. So the question is when you're in there, do you value the gains that can be brought to Chinatown by investing in the area? And I do. I make that commitment is very important, not just for you, but for the entire city as a whole.
同埋政府所有人嘅咁其實 commitment 嘅重點就係點樣可以好好咁善用呢筆錢啦。咁我哋對象係邊個係點樣用？
Okay, 我抽埋最後 the last question.
咁當然係好
You
需
still
要
okay? Need coffee? Coffee? We have tea. Okay. Here in Chinatown, we have tea.
commitment 嘅承諾嘅。
佢特別提到75萬係整個行政嘅 budget 裏邊係991。OK， 用中文先，亦都係中文嘅。OK， 我抽埋最後第7區坐落市中心 coffee 交通嘅樞紐 coffee。We have tea。如何保障要Chinatown有可靠、安全、可負擔嘅交通 ？OK， 停車場泊車位不足，太貴。OK， 用中文先，亦都係中文嘅。輕鐵路線地區唔經唐人坐落有咩睇中嘅新聞？交通嘅樞紐，如何保障上車同居民數量可靠、安全、可負擔嘅交通？停車場 mobility 泊車位不足，太貴。有咩事 in Calgary？ 輕鐵路線取消唔經唐人街有咩替代方案？downtown. So it's about transportation, but also accessibility, not accessibility in a way of transportation, travelability, and going to different to protect seniors and residents in Calgary. But going back, Chinatown is a hub. Chinatown is affordable, reliable downtown, so it's the hub transportation. Now I'm scaffold because she's scaffold. Parking is not enough. Parking spaces is not enough. To protect seniors and residents to have $4 per hour. Affordable, reliable, very expensive, and safe. That's transportation. Any recommendation because she's streamlined. Parking is not enough. Parking spaces not going. Last time I checked, if it's on the street, is what is $4 per hour? Very expensive. That's what she said. Any recommendation?
So let me just start by saying,
not coming through center streets, not going to Chinatown.
We are investing in the BRT north to Center to North Calgary. That investment's already started. The Green Line's not going to come right away, but we are talking about a functional study to ensure Chinatown is served. Whether it be an underground or invested in BRT north, that is going to be done to accessibility for seniors. Certainly, we want to make sure the Green Line's not going to come right away. We are talking about a functional study to ensure Chinatown is served. Whether it be an underground or accessibility for seniors, certainly we want to make sure streets, if you look outside right now, we are investing in fixing sidewalks.
Terry 其實強調係政府都係其實擺咗好多嘅投資喺改善
Ensuring that
嘅
the
交
green
通
line
嘅
comes
設施
into
上
downtown
亦
and
都係
is critical infrastructure.
道路上。
Calgary, one of our drawbacks, but also one of our benefits, is that actually our downtown is the central hub of our transit system, and it is all ensuring that the green line comes into downtown and out. We just need to make sure that the frequency is reliable. Calgary, one of our drawbacks, but also one of our benefits, is that actually our downtown is the central fare-free transit system. It is all 12 and under, but bringing it all down and then back out. We just need to make sure that the frequency and reliability of that transit is there. Making it also more affordable, part of our platform is to make fare-free transit not just free for 12 and under, but to take on that.
我哋嘅中央街都係一個交通嘅樞紐啦，咁係好重要去改善呢個交通嘅設施。咁佢認為即係好似應該將佢個設施講嘅就係佢一路係之前有嘅更加同埋班次啦，同埋我哋嘅可靠嘅班次係一個交通嘅樞紐嘅，咁係好交通嘅去改善呢個交通嘅公共交通嘅設施嘅。好似頭先佢之前曾經講話就係佢一路係支持有更加頻密嘅班次啦，更加可靠嘅班次啦
We need, respectfully, Terry, we need more than a functional study, and we need more than some fancy BRT stops north of 16th Avenue. That's not serving Chinatown, that's not serving the residents here that deserve better stops. Respectfully, Terry, we need more than a functional sidewalk, we need more than some fancy BRT stops building their north of 16th Avenue. That's not serving Chinatown, we need better than that. They also need to have the services and keep them in their community, standing on the sidewalk down there instead of, and people are building their own benches because the city can't get its act together right. We need better than that. We also need to have the services and keep them in the community so that you don't need to go out elsewhere.
係我哋必須係要令到我哋嘅道路係更加嘅安全。
There's so much that we need to do from a mobility perspective in Chinatown. I fear for seniors every time I watch you try to cross the street and you can't get across in the time that the signal allows. There's so much that we need to do from a mobility perspective that we are making the right adjustments that we are investing as you try to cross the street and you can't get traffic calming in Chinatown. I'm sorry, I'm not going to advocate for that we are making the right adjustments that we are investing in transit to move people efficiently. Traffic calming in Chinatown. I'm sorry, I'm not going to advocate for more parking and all for more transit anytime to move people efficiently and safely.
長者當佢係咁啊，其實我每次嚟到市中心或者同人街，我就見到啲長者佢多嘅泊車都會好擔心嘅，因為都係需要令到佢改善嘅長者當佢喺前線嘅行走上更加安全啦。咁我就唔會支持有更多嘅泊車。
right now, and I think we are going to very access and closing remarks from candidates. Each one has 30 seconds, and I think we are going to start the very last session, which is a closing remarks from the candidates. Each one has 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you, Shishik, for coming out. Thank you so much for being here. What you've heard is a lot of promises. You've had somebody here who's been in the councillor's office for 4 years. Thank you, Shishik, for coming out. Thank you so much for being here. And we've got what you've heard is a couple other candidates that are here from Chinatown who's been in the councillor's office for 4 years and acknowledging and that cultural sensitivity. And we've got a couple other candidates that are going to specific commitments to Chinatown residents, businesses, and visitors, including a Chinatown safety hub to help with safety. And my platform includes specific commitments to Chinatown residents, businesses, and visitors, including a Chinatown safety hub to help with safety.
其實David主要就係有少少就都定位過去嗰4年咧，好似都唔多位啦。咁其實都好多就係有少少行街同埋呢個過去嗰4年咧，好似都唔會太多嘅一齊發生。不過好多候選人佢就會話講係我哋自己嘅特色，係想可以保留呢啲嘢嘅，或者就係一齊嚟改善。不過佢覺得差啲，我哋話講咧係有我哋自己嘅特色，係應該保留呢啲嘢嘅，咁樣就係另外一個政策。希望所有商家啊、住戶啊一齊。
Picture a Chinatown where housing is abundant, residents move effortlessly at every age and stage of life, and businesses are thriving. Where housing is abundant, streets can be crossed safely and robust at every age and stage of life, and businesses are thriving. Ward 7 deserves an safely and robust public transportation advocate for investment in Chinatown. Ward 7 deserves an experienced community builder, Chinatown residents, cultural associations and businesses. I want to provide that advocacy for Chinatown residents, cultural associations and businesses, and I ask you to vote for Heather McRae and the Calgary Party.
Thank you.
住屋咁佢個一陣就會覺得咧，其實唐人街咧係有好多唔同嘅都喺度住啦，咁所以佢就 甚至係商業可以帶到推動到更多住啦，咁所以佢就投資令到我哋可以加入到呢度推動到更多改善所有嘅投資，令到我哋學生加入到呢度，咁從而改善所有嘅文化活動啊，相關。
Yeah, let's just say thank you to Dave for being here. A lot of thoughtful ideas. Yeah, let's just say thank you to Dave. A little more fact-finding needs to be done. A lot of thoughtful ideas, thoughtful here as well. Bring a little more fact-finding ideas. I know it's, you know, here as well. I don't want to say idealistic, but your ideas, I know it's done associated. I don't want to say idealistic, Heather, a lot of more research needs to be done associated. How to attack me, Heather, in social media and others. There's bad attack. I'm not sure why people want social media. And more importantly for myself. I'm not sure why people want to. More important to myself.
嘅參與啦，咁首先Terry 就好多謝大家亦都有參與啦，亦都多謝今日大家討論咧係帶到有好多感覺上今日咧大家討論咧係帶到好多有建設性嘅 idea 俾大家嘅，咁所以佢嘅 idea 俾大家覺得，咁所以佢比較都覺得其他候選人咧係挑戰佢而家之前一直做緊嘅，挑戰佢而家之前一直做緊嘅嘢啦。
We've been talking about a lot of the issues today that Chinatown is experiencing. We've been talking about a lot of the issues today that Chinatown is experiencing. Those issues are true, but I think we also need to lean into the fact that Chinatown has been. But I think we also need to lean into the fact that Chinatown has been because of your hard work. So what we need to do is not have a bunch of city folks. So what we need to do is not have a bunch of city folks when you are already doing some community and have the city come on as a community and have the city come on. That is what I'm here to do. I'm here to get behind you. The work that you have already been doing for the work that you have already been doing for decades.
咁我就就會覺得咧，其實大家今日提出嘅所有問題，即係佢係即係佢係所提出大家嘅，咁佢應該覺得嘅，咁佢應該覺得所有人啦，亦都係努力咁一齊合作咁一齊到合作，佢係更加好嘅，佢明確好嘅，咁佢就會係希望去做嘅係希望市會嘅合作，支持大家建設好玩。
So thank you so much. Please begin the applause. I'm really proud of I should have clapped every time now and then. Putting the names out to the public and run office is no small task. And whoever we need to lose, we have to appreciate that they treasure this democracy. Speaking of democracy, that told ends tonight. Next year, October 20th, is your time to vote. There are some paths that you want to take. Talk to the candidates as well. Feel free and wish you also some refreshment and coffee. Thank you so much for having me. Exactly 30 seconds.
Hello， 咁好啊，支持。